Now, I'm sure that many of you watching this video will either be Man United fans or have friends that are Man United fans. And no matter what or where you go, you're always talking about Man United. And if there's one thing that's hard to get away when you got friends or have, Man United influences, it's just talking about Man U, bro. I tell you, honestly, talking about Man U is something I always do, even without Man United friends. It's just such an easy topic of conversation. Just to talk about Man U, whether it's good, bad, whatever, it's funny, you know what I mean? It's just hilarious. Talking about Man U, especially recently, as a Chelsea fan. It's unreal, man, I tell you. So I thought, why not make a video about it? Why not have some fun with it and discuss with you guys just about Man United, Manchester United, where are they at? What's going on? And is Amorim, is he the man to take them forward? Is he going to be the guy that's going to actually get it right for Man U? They've been trying for like almost over a decade now. And yeah, it's still not really there. They've won a couple of things in that time, but they've not really had sustained success. But I believe where we are right now is quite a pivotal point in Manchester United's history. They've got brand new owners looking after the football side of things, and they've also got the new manager, Ruben Amorim. So yeah, there's a lot going on. Now, I'm not too sure when this video is going live, but I do want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you all. Have a great 2025, enjoy it wherever you're doing, and yeah, it's going to be a good time for the videos. I'm hoping we get a lot of football content out there, talking about football, all this kind of stuff we're doing right now, but keep going, keep improving it, keep making steps, keep progressing forward, and hopefully you guys will be there for the ride. Now, I mentioned a second ago about obviously the new ownership at Manchester United, and the new manager as well, but there's a third factor here. The players. Now, I believe those three things are the key factors to any football club: ownership, manager, players. If you get all three of those things correct and right and good, you'll be in a good place. But if one of those three starts letting go or failing or dropping down a level, then you definitely notice it on the football pitch. Results go astray, there's always bad news and all this kind of stuff. There's constant media outage about just how like a mess the club is, or something's going on here, or there's a bad issue over there. But if you get all three of those correct, there's usually a lot of success on the horizon. Now, just in my opinion, I believe Man U have 2 out of the 3. I'm sure it's not difficult to guess which ones they are. But to start at the beginning, I think we'll go with the ownership. And I believe it's Ineos ownership, Sir Jim Ratcliffe. He seems like a guy who's trying to back the club, kind of back the team, kind of really delve deep into this football thing. And I think he's going to be a good owner. They've already done a lot of cost cutting, getting people out of the club that were just getting paid for nothing. I mean, I'm not sure if I agree with the Sir Alex Ferguson one. They kind of got rid of him. He was on a lot of money doing, whatever he did at the club. But they've removed him from there. So they're saving money, trying to cut back where they can and all this kind of stuff, which obviously from a business standpoint makes sense. I guess they want to reinvest that money into the actual team, I guess, or facilities or the stadium. Who knows? I think a brand new stadium is almost essential for Old Trafford. It seems to be leaking. There's rats and mice and all sorts of things going on over there. It seems an absolute terrible place to go to watch a game of football. If you're a local fan, you know what I mean, trying to turn up and you got dead rats next to your seat, you don't want to see that, do you? And if it's a rainy day, you're gonna get drenched, you know what I mean? Nobody wants that. So like, yeah, it's not ideal. So they got to fix that ASAP. I don't think it's just the stadium though. I think even the facilities outside of it, the training ground and all this kind of stuff. Carrington, I believe. I remember a few years ago when Cristiano Ronaldo had a second stint at Man U when he came back. And he said how he couldn't believe how the facilities at the training ground were still the same as they were when he left back in 2009. And that was 2021 he came back, I think it was. So yeah, it was crazy. So for 12 years they've been the same. The Glazers had clearly neglected it. They didn't want any part of that kind of stuff. Investing in the club in that side of things was definitely not on their radar. So I believe Ineos will fix that. They'll put it right. And it may take a few years. I mean, obviously building a huge, 90,000 seater stadium or something they want is going to take a long time. But the idea is there. The foundation's there. They're trying to progress towards that. All this cost cutting is kind of, a 1 step backwards to have 2 steps forwards, I believe. So I think they'll get there. They'll sort it. It's a long project, but a project that eventually, I believe, will lead to success. Now, the next factor is Ruben Amorim. All right, this geezer, I think he's the right man for the job. I'm not going to lie. I don't really think there's many options out there when it comes to Man U, who would really be able to take on the club that size and actually bring success to it and sustain success as well. Obviously, technically, Ten Hag was a successful manager at Manchester United. But would Man U fans consider him successful? I don't know. I think they kind of hated his guts towards the end of it. Obviously, the FA Cups was great. I think he won a League Cup as well against Newcastle. So it's they obviously won trophies and that's very good. But was it really a successful time? The league form would beg to differ. Champions League would beg to differ. So that's the true trophies that truly can define a successful team. How are you doing in the league? How far are you getting in Europe? If anywhere at all. And Man U were nowhere, obviously, in those two competitions. So, you know, it's easy to disguise success behind a couple of domestic trophies. But in actual fact, the Premier League form and a Champions League form for Man U under Ten Hag, it was nowhere to be seen, bro. And I do believe Amorim recognises that. I think he's already mentioned it before, how he doesn't want to disguise success under an FA Cup trophy, for example. He wants to actually get the league title, get the Champions League going and all this kind of stuff. Obviously, the recent times at Man U haven't been that great, but that's no fault of his own, all right? He's trying to build a system, trying to build a foundation for the team to progress forward, and I believe he'll get there. I believe he is the right man for the job. I think Ineos, the ownership of Manchester United, will give him multiple years. I think they're actually going to genuinely back a manager, which is crazy to say. No matter how bad the results get, as long as they avoid relegation, I think for a couple of years, they will back him. They will give him the tools to hopefully build a successful team over multiple seasons, which is exactly what he was doing at Sporting Lisbon. He knows what he's doing, man. I believe this guy, he might be him. But the third point, all right, the big elephant in the room, all right, nothing we've mentioned yet. It's the players, bro. The players are just not there. They ain't it. I'm not sure what's going on, who the recruitment team was, whatever was happening, who decided to bring Xerxes to the club, who thought that, I don't know, Diogo Dalot was him, whoever thought Anthony was the right man to spend 100 million on. You know what I mean? We could go on forever. There's multiple people at this like club and this squad that you're thinking, like, who was in the room when it happened? You know, who decided that this guy was going to be the one to change Man U's future, bring success to the team, and make him a sustainable title bid year in, year out in the Premier League? No, I don't even know why I'm mad about it. You know what I mean? It's kind of funny at the time, because being a Chelsea fan, it's just like, let them continue to fail. It's not a big deal to me, but constant failure after failure after failure. You think after a while you'd learn, but they just don't. It's hilarious. Now, I genuinely believe that getting the squad together, getting the right players in and the right players out, more importantly, is the last piece of the puzzle. Because the first two factors of the ownership and the manager, I believe they align. Their values, what they're after, the idea, the vision, it aligns. You know, they see a vision of a couple of years, you know, trying to build a foundation, trying to get the squad together, trying to get the foundations of the training ground or the idea of a new stadium. All this, you know, comes together to build, all right, give it a couple of years and we'll get it together. But today and right now, obviously the squad are not. Now, I'm guessing it's about a 25-man squad in Manchester United's team this season, and only 7 or 8 of them is staying. The rest of them, they gotta go, bro. You know what I mean? Obviously, you can't flock like, you know, 13, 14 players in one window. Of course you can't. So it's gonna be a progress. It's gonna take a few transfer windows. It's gonna take a lot of getting rid of some homegrown talent. I'm talking about Marcus Rashford. You know what I mean? He's gotta go, bro. The man's gotta go. Especially when you factor in the cost cutting around Ineos. I think Rashford's on about 350k a week to do nothing. You know, that's a lot of money where you could spend that on like 3 decent players that will do a lot more for the club than what Rashford's doing. So, to answer the title of this video, will Ruben Amorim get it right at Manchester United? Yeah, I think he will. I think he will get time. The ownership seems to be backing him. We'll see that in the next coming months and, you know, years as well. Multiple transfer windows that are going to get rid of key players and big players and bring in important players too. Not like top dogs, you know, you don't want to buy splashing 100 million here, 100 million there. I believe they will get the right player who fits the profile of a squad they're trying to build and the tactics and all this kind of stuff. I believe the ownership and Amorim are trying to build the foundations for success over multiple years, which is the key. You know what I mean? You don't want to just like a short stop, quick trophy here, then get out like a Mourinho, for example. You want sustained success. You want to be there for as long as you can to hold it down and just sustain those trophies in Premier League, in Champions League, be competitive as possible. And what we are seeing right now, I believe, is a foundation work of this, you know, trajectory that I believe it'll start off rocky as it is right now. They're losing some crazy games, obviously, but there's a lot of work going on, and I believe they will get there. But this is where I want to hear from you guys down below in the comments. Let me know what you think, man. Do you think Amorim is going to get it right at Manchester United? Is he going to get enough time? And are the ownership going to really sell Marcus Rashford? I don't know. It's going to be crazy. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be a busy January. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm also looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say down below as well. But if you did enjoy today's video, please leave a like. Subscribe if you are new. Thank you as always for watching. I do appreciate it. A bit of a longer video, this one. But I'll see how you get on with it. Hopefully you enjoy it. And if you stuck it out to this far, appreciate you very much. Thank you. And I'll see you all in the next video where I talk about some football in a bit.